Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the Indiana State Police Roadshow. I'm your host, Sergeant John Prime, the Public Information Officer from the Indiana State Police Indianapolis District. The Roadshow is brought to you each and every week by the Indiana State Police Alliance and Cops for Kids, a subsidiary of the State Police Alliance. For more information about our sponsor, you can visit them at www.indianasfinest.com. Thank you to MS Communications and Network Indiana for all their efforts to get us on the radio waves across the great state of Indiana each and every week, different times and places. And if you're listening on the radio, we appreciate you very much. And if you're watching us on YouTube, it is thanks to the efforts of Mr. Tom Trial, who makes us look much better on camera than we really do in person. So thank you. Back as usual, our good friend of the show and the Chief Public Information Officer of the Indiana State Police, Captain Ron Galvez, and our very, very special guest today is not a familiar face to the show, but a familiar face to Ron and I. It's First Sergeant Mike Nichols. Mike, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And it's not just a show to come in and see how you're doing. Something really important is happening. You are retiring from the Indiana State Police.
That is correct. After 32 years, and it'll be 2 days.
32 years and 2 days.
Wow.
That's an incredible amount of time.
It sure is.
You know, I remember everybody tells you, don't blink. And as a young trooper, you really don't take that in until you get to the age where your friends are retiring and you're like, wow, I'm right around the corner as well.
It has flown by. It really has.
So you've had an opportunity to do all kinds of great things on this department. I remember you as a sergeant in the training division when I came through recruit school, but let's take it all the way back to the beginning. Mike Nichols is stepping off the stage after graduation, and where's he going after recruit school?
Ended up going to the Peru post and worked Howard County, Kokomo area.
Okay, and was that home for you?
It was close to home.
Okay.
It was close enough, but yet far enough away.
I got it.
I grew up in Tipton, Indiana.
Oh, okay, that's right.
So just south of Kokomo.
Yeah.
And like I say, I think I only arrested one person, maybe two that I grew up with. So that's why I say close enough but far enough away.
Yeah.
And but it was a great learning environment, great spirit of cooperation with Kokomo Police Department, Howard County Sheriff's Department, and ended up working the road for 6 years. Mm-hmm. And wow, times have changed. I mean, just everything.
Your K-55 radar and
low band radio.
Yeah,
exactly. And for working nights there, a lot of times it was 2 sheriff's deputies and a trooper out, and out in the county, and that was it.
Yep.
And you'd have to drive distances to help each other out. And
what was your first car?
My first car was a 1988 Ford Crown Victoria.
Wow.
And I think I got it with about 40,000 miles.
That's the big boxy one, right?
Like the one at the museum?
Yeah.
Did you have the little Christmas lights on the front bumper too? Or did it have a light bar?
No, it had a light bar. It had the 2 big rotators on the top, and deck lights that look like trailer lights, kind of.
Yeah. Yep.
So
we might have to have Tom put some images of these vehicles up so people that have no idea what we're talking about can envision this.
Yeah. So very cool. So 6 years in, you decide an opportunity comes up to change and you move on.
Right. Ended up going to the training division, became a sergeant there, and was in charge of our EVOC, or our driving program, and then helped out with other programs on the department.
Yeah. And I remember when in my recruit school, you were a sergeant over the EVOC program. And one thing I remember is we had some mutual friends from Tipton, or some family friends, and we had talked about that. And little things like that as a recruit in the recruit school really help you connect. And it really allows some comfort. Hey, we know somebody who knows somebody. And so for me, that was kind of a big deal that, I didn't know you, but knowing people that you knew, it kind of felt like there was a connection.
Right. And that it's a tight line to walk out recruit school.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there's a time for discipline and that paramilitary part. But then when you get into firearms and defensive tactics and driving, the hands-on stuff where you want the people to have some finesse, you really need to put them at ease, let them relax a little bit. They're not, kind of toy soldiers at that point.
Yep. So I know you spent some time in the training division, and then you jumped around again.
Yep. 9 years at the training division.
Uh-huh.
Then went to our commercial vehicle enforcement division, just lateraled over as a sergeant. And part of that was I managed our federal grants. And so something new to me. And that's the beauty of the state police is, you know, if you can move around and get change, you know. So we have a lot of guys that work the road.
Yeah,
you can for their
move
whole
around,
career.
or you don't have to move around.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's really great.
And if you work the road your whole career, we've got all the events that help break up your schedule. You know, the fair, the races, different things like that. But so I spent 3 years at the Commercial Vehicle Enforcement Division and doing the grants. And like I say, that was something totally new. And kudos to our people in our fiscal division because they kind of helped me look at it from their perspective. You know, how do we make things easier for them, but then also use the grants to their fullest extent.
Yeah. And so you use that experience, everything that you've done, and then you become a district lieutenant, right?
Right. I was a district lieutenant for 2.5 years at the Peru post, back where I started.
Yeah.
And then ended up becoming engaged to a young lady. And she lives, my wife Diane now, lived in Blackford County and had 3 kids in the school system there.
Yeah.
And so the district commander spot at Red Key opened up, which covers that area. And so I was able to lateral over. Yeah. And with the blessings of the superintendent
and then you did such a great job at Red Key, they closed the post.
There was no more crime. No, not
I'm
quite.
only kidding.
Yeah.
But that was about the time that the posts were realigning.
Right. And that was it. I mean, technology has changed, like I said, so much in law enforcement. You know, when I first came on, you had to go to the post at least every 3 days to turn in paperwork. And everything is done so much electronically now that, you know, districts are bigger because you don't have to cover, you know, that ground to drive to the post and so forth.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, so of course, after district realignments happened, there weren't any district commander positions available. So you decided to find something else to do.
Right. And then, so I've been in special operations since then. And back when the city of Indianapolis and the state was planning for the Super Bowl, then I got involved with Terry Treon, sergeant at that time, to do our part of the planning for the Super Bowl. Yeah. And got working with our good friends at Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department, the Indianapolis Fire Department, the city of Indianapolis Homeland Security. Yeah. And been in special operations ever since. That was November of 2011.
And a lot of cool things. But for me, I remember the Super Bowl specifically saying, wow, like never in my dreams of being a law enforcement officer did I feel like I would be involved at that level in a Super Bowl. And so it's like you almost look around like I'm getting paid right now to be involved in Super Bowl festivities. I mean, how cool is that? And other things.
Exactly. Yeah. And I had 2 uncles that were on the state police and retired, and they always talked about the magic blue shirt and, you know, just the different events you can work, the people you meet, the things you see and do, and that other people only dream about.
I always tell people standing on the starting grid of the Indy 500 when they fire those engines is nothing that you could ever explain unless you've been there.
And you stand there and you look down that straightaway and it's just wall-to-wall people. It's so surreal.
And your feet are on the track. I mean,
yes.
That's what's cool. I mean, you're not, you know, it's just what a cool thing that it's.
Well, absolutely. I totally agree. Yeah, I'm still having a hard time fathoming that it's been 9 years since the Super Bowl's been here. Well, almost 9 years in February.
2013,
right.
Yeah.
Was it
2012.
That's right, 2012.
Yeah.
So you started planning in November, so 9 years ago, right?
Right.
My goodness. It's just unbelievable how fast time flies. You know, I didn't have that opportunity. I didn't take the opportunity to volunteer for any of that Super Bowl, any of that, but I did take my young son and his friend down there, but I got an opportunity to kind of see the magic blue shirts
Yeah.
around doing their thing, interacting with the public, but also, dignitary escorts and all the neat things that you're talking about. Think, man,
Yeah.
I really missed out, but maybe we'll have an opportunity
Maybe there'll be
again.
another one.
But yeah, you talk about all these neat events. Is there any one particular that really stands out in your mind that you really, when somebody says, "Hey, what's the coolest thing you ever did on the state police?"
Man, I don't know. I don't know. There's so many. It's just it's like looking at a big bowl of them. Because there's something with everything. I've had the opportunity to meet 4 different presidents.
Wow.
Yeah.
President Trump, President Obama, President Clinton, and then the younger George Bush.
What a cool opportunity.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And, I guess it's meeting some of these people and realizing they're just regular people too.
Yeah.
They're just like you and me.
Yep.
And, it's met one of my namesakes. I've had a nickname since junior high of Digger because my family owns a funeral home.
Oh, yeah.
And when I was in junior high, I was a big Notre Dame fan, and Digger Phelps was Notre Dame's basketball coach. And one year at the 500, out there when they were lining the cars up, there's Digger Phelps. And so we had a chance just to talk for a couple minutes.
Wow.
And his father was a funeral director as well.
I'll be darned.
So,
So Mike, you've had obviously an incredible career, 32 years with the Indiana State Police. What's next? What's the next chapter? You're not going far.
Not going far, no. And you never plan, or you try and plan for your future, but you never know what's going to come up. Going to work for the Indiana Department of Transportation. They have a position as the statewide emergency planning and response manager. And a lot of that involves working with other state agencies and local agencies on emergency response that NDOT or state highway folks would be involved in. So a lot of liaisoning with people I've already worked with, with state police, here in Indianapolis Metro PD, Indianapolis Fire, Marion County Health Department. And it's, no agency, no matter what they do, can handle normal operations and then have an incident thrust upon them. It's almost impossible for them to do everything. They've got to have a friend. They've got to have cooperation in order to do things efficiently. And over the years, the state police has gotten good at that. Everybody always says, hey, I got a guy that can do this. And that is what this position does with NDOT.
Well, I'm very confident that you're going to do a great job for NDOT and looking forward to continuing to work with you because we'll still see you around and looking forward to that. So we've got about a minute and a half yet here. And, just if you could wrap it all up in 30 seconds, what would you give?
It's been an honor and a privilege. A lot of good people out there in Indiana, so it's a childhood dream.
Yeah. And what do you tell that young trooper with 2 or 3 years on right now? What advice? One sentence of advice you'd give them? Make it a career, not a job. Very good. Very good. And so we do appreciate your service. You've always been a professional and very good at what you do and a very good contact to have on my phone whenever I need something. And obviously continue to see you around. And so we've got about 30 seconds, Ron.
As my career is kind of winding down, I've got probably about 7 more years. Certainly going to take to heart everything Mike has said. But again, you've been a true professional. It's been an honor and a privilege to work alongside in the few times that we have. So wish you the very best. And don't start crying because I'm going to do it too. But again, wish nothing but the best for you. You'll just find nothing but success. Yeah. Well, thanks so much for coming on the show. You've been tuned into the Indiana State Police Roadshow with First Sergeant Mike Nichols. Thank you very much.